Welcome to a new episode of the Rebel Radio Podcast. This is Mark.
This is Matt.
The reason that opening sounds like off of a commercial is because I was trying really hard not to butcher it a third time. And, how are you, man?
I am good.
Long has officially begun his sabbatical. He's going to probably come on the show maybe once a month and do live shows and live events with us and maybe some Patreon episodes.
Yeah. The ones that spark his interest.
Yeah, he's on what they call a walkabout.
Yeah, walkabout. He's a walk about, I guess.
And
he's working on a book. He's got a cooking show that he's working on.
Extra jerk off time.
Yeah,
I mean, he's doing his thing.
Yeah, be ambidextrous. He's working on being ambidextrous.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And is he going to start wearing dresses and stuff too?
No. That's the other friend of the show.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Long would wear like suits.
Wait, that's
from
where
the
you
20s.
like use the other hand,
like
right?
a zoot suit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's practicing.
So switcher.
Yeah,
one gets tired, use the other, or if one gets worn out.
I don't know. I'm in my 40s and I'm pretty good at doing that now. So I would think he's only a couple years younger than me. I would think he'd be a pro at that by now too. I mean, after a while you just that's a 30-year-old thing to practice both hands.
Yeah.
So
Okay. If you say so.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about
yeah,
drinking my coffee in both hands.
Yeah, coffee in both hands.
That's what are you talking about?
I thought I don't drink coffee. I drink energy drinks. So
I don't know what you were talking about.
Switching hands with the energy drinks.
Fucking perv.
Yeah, I mean, I would never think of anything, deviant.
Anyway, so how was your week?
It's been raining all the week. I kind of hate it because...
Has it been raining? I guess it has been raining.
Yeah, like here and there. And, I like keeping my car clean. And I like washing it. And I've exhausted myself of washing my car this week. I've actually got sick of washing.
Dumbass, don't wash it until the rain completely goes away.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I paid to have it washed today. I just ran it through.
Well, you're even stupider.
Yeah. But I went somewhere to where if it rains, then I can go back and they give me one free wash within 7 days. So, not a total loss, but... Yeah.
Still.
It's
just rain.
The reach around, or, whatever they call it.
I don't know what they call it in a car wash. I mean, some big old burning dude is drying your car, reaches around on you. That's up to you, man. I mean, man.
What about you?
Which car wash did you go to? I want to avoid that one.
It's like Blue Waffle car wash. Blue Wave.
Blue Waffle?
Blue Wave.
Bet you end up with a blue. I've been sick all week. The last show I was coughing a lot. Hopefully I can make it through the show without coughing. I'm still a little bit congested. I probably sound congested, but I'm okay. It's not coronavirus or anything like that.
There you go.
It's the just Texas weird weather virus. Yeah. And I'm stubborn as fuck, so I don't go to the doctor for it. But it's a sinus infection. They're not really going to do anything.
Yeah.
Maybe they give you some codeine for the cough or something, but there's not much they can do. So it's like, why go? It's like, I'm not running fever or nothing. I've just been taking some over-the-counter stuff.
And they just bill the hell out of your insurance.
Yeah. So, but
save you that.
Between being sick and work kicking my ass, it's been a week that... God damn it, does January seem like it's taking forever? Yeah. It's like Christmas feels like forever ago now. This is January, it's like the slowest, dreary, worst month. And I know we've got, Long, he just had a birthday in January. I know people had birthdays, but January sucks, man.
Yeah, it's the Monday of the new year, right?
Yes.
Isn't it?
It's the Monday of the new year. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, you had the football playoffs and everything and all that. But overall, it's just been a horrible month, man. I mean, you think about the Astros cheating scandal, just the dreariness of Houston, Texas weather. We've had a lot of rain and cold, and we had some other sadness this week in the NBA. And not to start the show on a sad note, but this is something that needs to be talked about. Mm-hmm. And as we're recording this, the Lakers are taking the floor tonight for their first game since the passing of Kobe Bryant last Sunday. And one may ask on a movie podcast, well, why talk about Kobe Bryant? Well, there's people that just ascend above everything else. And Kobe is movie relevant. He is an Oscar winner. He won for his short film about the basketball.
Yeah.
He was also in the Daddy's Home. So he does have Hollywood. Plus, he played in L.A., the home of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Him and his daughter, Gianna, tragically died in a crash last Sunday. He is 41, and of course she was only 13.
13 years old.
And just a very sad situation. And you and I have texted about this a lot this week, and this is a big one for our generation, maybe the biggest. This might be bigger, not to take away from any of these guys, but bigger than Michael Jackson, bigger than even Stan Lee. But Stan Lee was older, so you accepted it.
Yeah.
This is very tragic for what happened to even Michael Jackson. As much as you weren't surprised by it. You weren't surprised it was possibly drug use and stuff, as terrible as that sounds.
Yeah.
But this was very tragic because you did not expect this to see this news Sunday afternoon. And for me, I mean, admittedly, I've cried 3 or 4 times over this. It's been a very sad thing to think about that him and his beautiful little daughter had to go together. Because anyone that's watched TV knows that the two of them were tight. And he was a daddy's girl. He had 3 girls, and it's a terrible thing, and the world has come together, I think, in some ways and shown their love for Kobe. Whether you weren't a fan of the Lakers, you were a fan of Kobe, you appreciated what he did. I remember I used to hate him when he beat the Rockets because he was so good.
You never wanted to play against him.
All right, but you also respected him so much for the way he went out there and he handled his business and played the game and did what he was supposed to do on the court. And that was to represent the Los Angeles Lakers and win championships. And he was a 5-time champion.
Yeah.
And there may never be another one like him. And just the news has rippled through the sports world this week, from the NFL to Major League Baseball to all sports, hockey and basketball especially. It's been felt across the league. Tributes still going on. Been some amazing tributes throughout the week. Amazing Sports Center stories and different stories from different athletes.
I didn't even know that Star Wars had a character named after Kobe.
Yeah, like, in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, the K2B4.
Yeah. Just amazing. I've never seen anything like this ever for a athlete or a celebrity in our time that I remember.
Yeah.
What are some of your thoughts on?
I just remember, like, TMZ reported it, and I had friends that were like, "It's fake.
Right.
There ain't no way." And then, not only is TMZ reporting, but Fox News is reporting it. Other people are reporting it, and then everyone's like, "Holy crap, it's real!" And it's just, like you said, it's shocking because it's sudden. Yeah. No one expected anything like this to happen, or Kobe to pass. At the young age of 41. He just retired
a couple years ago, and he was beginning the second phase of his life, and that's just being a dad and being Kobe Bryant in retirement.
Yeah, I work for Coca-Cola, and he's a sponsor for Body Armor. Body Armor is something that we distribute, and he had just filmed a video for Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages, and we thought it was really cool because we got to see it beginning of this year, where he's promoting Body Armor and talking about it. And it's just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he inspires a lot of people. He's had a hard work ethic, and he believed in telling people to work hard. From things I've read and seen on TV this week, that he was never too big to talk to people or to talk to anybody, fans and things like that, because he knew that that's who made him. That he always would take the time to talk to young fans and to people, even older fans. That he was always a man of the people in a lot of ways, it felt like. And and he was courtside a lot of Laker games since he retired, always with his daughter talking about basketball and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made the tragedy hit home even more, is that his daughter was with him. And 7 other people that we can't forget about either that were also in the helicopter.
U of H coach, a baseball coach and his family, and another family. And then one man that was there without his family.
Yeah.
But it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, and people ask why, there's been some assholes on social media this week, why you mourn a celebrity, and you do it because there's sometimes a celebrity transcends things, as I said earlier, and you believe that you know that person without knowing them because you watch their career. Or in the case of Stan Lee, we got to know him through his comics and his appearances and things like that.
Yeah.
And with Kobe Bryant, man, as a Rockets fan, we won the titles in 94, 95, and then 2 years later, Kobe came to the league, and I always remember Kobe being there. We watched this. I literally saw his whole career. Maybe not every game, but I was able to follow it because it was part of the life, and he was always there. He was like a Superman to you. It's like Kobe Bryant is one of the best to ever play the game. He's an absolute legend. He will go into the Hall of Fame, no doubt, posthumously. How do you say that?
And
You
posthumously.
know, the Lakers have already said that no one will ever wear his jerseys again, and I think they were already planning the retirement, or they may have already retired his jerseys.
I thought maybe they did retire his number. Yeah,
and and I know tonight at the game they're keeping 2 seats empty for him and Gianna, which is a nice tribute for him, and he's just one of those guys that rose above everything to touch somebody in the whole world. And if you're a sports fan, you just obviously appreciate his talent and what he brought to the game, and what he did for the game outside the game.
Yeah.
And, and people want to point to the mishap he had in 2003 with the rape accusations. But, people make mistakes, and people can recover from those mistakes. And Kobe certainly did. That man has done so much for charities and other
200 Make-A-Wish Foundation requests, and he never wanted an inch of publicity for it. He didn't want camera crews, and that was one of his stipulations. He wanted to be able to do it without making it seem like he had to have praise for everything he did or a camera crew. Because let's be honest, it's still nice that you're doing something, but if you're like, oh, I gotta have cameras, it doesn't count unless people see me doing it.
Right.
It's I think it takes away from the genuineness of it, and Kobe was very genuine.
Yeah. You can tell he was a genuine person. He was an athlete, but he was also a father and a husband and a good man. And to people that knew him, and he's going to be missed. This is going to hurt for a long time in the sports world and across the world, because this is it's huge. I mean, I don't think we fully realize the impact of the death of Kobe Bryant as far as in the world, in the sports world. I don't ever remember an athlete or a celebrity of this kind that has impacted people in the way that this has this week.
I didn't even realize he was on Jackass. Where
really?
they had filled a pool full of black mamba snakes, and he had to dunk over it. Someone said that it was fake. I kind of saw a little bit of the video. Like, Steve-O decides he's going to ride a bike into it before Kobe dunks in it. And Kobe's like, oh my God, what are you doing? And he's just having fun with it. And it was cool to see him laugh and stuff. So, but
I think my biggest Kobe memory is always going to be the first title he won with Shaq, and him and Shaq hugging. It's like you never forget big old Shaq hugging him. I don't know why that sticks in my mind.
Didn't they not get along at first?
They did get along at first.
I remember that.
Or they made you believe, but But obviously Shaq has paid some touching tributes to him this week.
Yeah, he couldn't hold it together talking about him.
And but it's just, like I said, this is going to be one that's going to hurt for a while across the league. The rest of the NBA season, and NFL is going to pay tribute to him. By the time you guys hear this episode, Super Bowl will have already happened, but the NFL plans on paying tribute to him during the Super Bowl as well, and rightfully so, because this is one of the greatest basketball players of all time, and a good man and a good father.
I agree,
and he will be missed. So.
Good way to wrap it up.
All right, well, let's not talk sadness anymore.
Yeah, not to be too sappy.
Right, and get into the show and download this, what we watched, streamed, or checked out this week, and. What did you check out, man?
Well, I've been watching The Witcher. I watched another couple episodes, and I've got one more left. And, man, I really just don't want it to be over. I'm having a lot of fun watching it. I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but there's, like, boobs and sex and Henry Cavill in a bathtub. So I guess this is kind of like Game of Thrones.
I did watch the second episode, and I'm still...
The third is the best.
I'm still not sure what to make of the show.
Yeah.
Like, I've kind of figured out, and plus I kind of knew anyway from the internet that it's like, there's multiple storylines going on.
Yeah.
And somehow it's going to come together. It's one of those shows that, like, it takes place in some apparently medieval times, right?
Yeah.
But, like, but yet they're using, like, real modern language sometimes, and it kind of throws me off. Like, he's like, oh, did your mom fuck a goat? Or something? Oh, did your mom fuck a snowman? I'm like,
yeah.
So it's a little weird. And that whole scene is really bizarre with, like, the goat guy and all that.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm not sure what to make of it. Like, there's cool elements, but I don't completely love the show yet. No,
I get you. I think the third episode was the one that really sold me because it felt like a medieval supernatural episode. And if you're familiar with Supernatural, they encounter a supernatural element, whether a ghost, a phantasm, a demon, whatever, and they have to figure out how to defeat it. and how to save the town that is affected by it. And that's essentially how the third episode plays out, except instead of, rock salt shotguns and crosses and Colts and stakes, you've got the Witcher and his two swords, the metal sword that is meant to take out humans and supernatural beings, and the silver sword, which is just meant for demons. And of course, his white locks and his bathtubs.
I do like the action scenes in the show so far.
Yeah,
they're well shot. Yeah, but I guess I'm just trying. I know someone said you gotta get to like episode 3 or 4. And you start figuring out what's going on.
Yeah,
because I'm like not sure exactly. I get that it's multiple times or multiple stories, and I think it has something. I guess it has something to do with like different times too.
Yeah, Yennefer is hot. I don't know if you've ever the Twisted Girl. Yeah. You've probably seen her, dude. She
like in real life. I know she's hot.
Yeah. They
kind of tear her up for the show, make her not look so hot.
Yeah, that. Don't worry, you won't have to see her like that for too long. But it definitely is a build up.
Right.
Feel like they get a little bit of the story and they develop Geralt a little bit, and then Yennefer. And then they really start picking up. So it's going to be a lot of fun once you get into episode 3.
Yeah.
And I also downloaded Witcher 3. I started playing it a little bit, but I haven't gotten too far in to actually make a judgment on it. So I started it, and it starts off with nudity, like the cutscene. And I was like,
oh, boobs.
Yeah. Well, this time it was butt. It's Yennefer's butt, and and he's in the bathtub again, and I'm like, I guess this is why this is based off of the game pretty well. He's always in a bathtub.
Was it Jennifer, or is it Yennefer?
Yennefer.
Isn't that the girl from the first episode too, though, that he fights?
No, that's oh crap, what's her name? She's the witch. I forget her name.
That's what I'm saying. They all look alike.
No, Yennefer's way different looking. The Twisted Girl, she's different than her. I can't remember her name because her memory lingers around in the first couple episodes too. Yeah. And she gives Geralt her brooch, and he has it on his hilt, and it's to remind him why he doesn't like to get involved in the affairs of men.
Right.
And that's, a reoccurring theme throughout the entire show.
Yeah.
So I watched that. I watched, for some reason, I just wanted to see Sleepaway Camp. So I watched Sleepaway Camp 1, 2, and 3.
That on Amazon.
Yeah.
Like Matt must have been bored.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? I want to see a really bad, cheesy slasher film that is still entertaining. And so I watched the Sleepaway Camps, and I think there's a Sleepaway Camp 4, but I haven't watched it yet. It's, wait till it's like free. I don't want to pay like $3 to rent it, because I know it's a bad horror movie. But that's about it. Yeah. You?
I started playing. Well, it's funny. The Sony has a sale going again on PlayStation 4, and they had the Batman Telltale games for sale. But then I went in Games Plus the other day, and they had a disc version of it for the same price, $5. I'm one of those people that if I could get the disc, I like to have the disc. So I bought the disc. And I went ahead and bought the sequel too, even though I won't play the sequel until I finish part 1. But the Telltale games they made the Walking Dead games from a few years ago.
Yeah. And
the Wolf Among Us, where they're kind of choose your own adventure style games. Where you have to make decisions. So it's not like an action fighting game for Batman. But you do things, and you make decisions, and it can change the outcome of the game. And it's really well animated. It's a very adult Batman story, compared to some of the other ones. It's very rated R. But I like it so far. It's pretty cool. The Walking Dead game was real emotional. It was real, very well story driven. So I'm hoping this is more of the same. And it's Batman. Batman, I'm down for any Batman stuff. And so I've been playing that. As far as watching, I finally watched Wonder Woman Bloodlines, one of the latest DC animated films. Mm-hmm. It's okay. It just feels like a big step back after the Death of Superman, Ray Superman, and Batman Hush. And this one just feels like real weak.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't a huge fan of it.
Vanilla.
Yeah, and then I let my son, Michael, enjoy the tremendousness that is Tremors, the original.
Yeah, you know what? I like Tremors.
And Michael's like, I don't know, Dad, we'll watch it. I'm like, then Egg Shin from Big Trouble in Little China. I'm like, Egg Shin is the movie, dude. Would I steer you wrong with a movie from the guy from Big Trouble in Little China? And he ended up liking it in the end.
Yeah.
You know? And it's been a while since I watched it. I forgot how ridiculous it is. And like whenever the thing runs through the concrete, and Kevin Bacon's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know? And I found the acid. And, it's the whole movie's just campy, stupid fun. I think there's, 6 of them now?
Yeah.
They kept making direct-to-video ones, but Tremors is an all-time classic. One that, one day could get talked about on the show. You never know.
I thought
even though it feels more like a Patreon type episode.
Yeah, I could have sworn I heard Reboot talk about that.
There has been, but I think then they end up making another direct-to-video one. So, but just a ridiculous film, but a fun night. Well, I thought it was an '80s movie. It actually came out in 1990. So
wow,
it's a '90s classic.
It's a '90s classic. There we go. Just like the film we're going to talk about today.
Just like the movie we're fixing to talk about today. And but that's really all I watched this week. So we can get into today's film.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Which is 1997's. One of my, anybody listening to the show knows that John Woo is my favorite director of all time. We've only covered one other John Woo film, and that was Hard Boiled. And now we're going to do, arguably, his most John Woo-ish film for American audiences, and that is Face Off. You want to give it a quick summary?
Yeah. So you have a FBI director, or FBI Special Agent Archer, who is hell-bent on catching Castor Troy, who has murdered his son in an attempt to murder him. And he's this big terrorist, and he takes him down, but there's a bomb somewhere in the city. And instead of saying, hey, has anyone seen this guy dressed as a priest grabbing girls' asses? They say, hey, Archer, if you cut your face off and replace it with Castor Troy's, you can impersonate him and say, hey, what's up, brother? Where's that bomb that you dropped off?
You know what's funny is, I'll let you finish summary, but
yeah.
I have to stop you. Because if Frank was here, our former co-host, he hates this movie.
Yes.
And
you can rip this movie.
You can rip this movie. You're absolutely right. If this guy's a master fucking terrorist, known to the world, why not put his face on TV and say, yeah, we saw him at this mall setting a bomb. You're right. But then you don't have the movie.
Exactly.
And that's what makes it great. Continue the summary.
So, but plot twist, we think that that Castor is really a turnip, but he wakes up and has the doctors put on his face and kills everyone who knows about the black bag operation that's under the table and no one knows about, not even Archer's wife. And now Castor's Archer. Archer is Castor. Finkel is Ihorn. It's crazy. Cats and dogs running together.
Well, and Travolta and Cage spent like 6 weeks together getting to know each other's mannerisms.
Yes.
And it comes across so well on screen. I mean, I tell you what, as ape shit crazy as this fucking movie is, Travolta and Cage are not mailing it in. They're trying so hard to do each other's roles. And
outdo each other.
And they're having absolute fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
anybody got a line?
Yeah, the whole opening sequence with the airplane hangar, which was all amazingly too. Most of this movie is shot in practical effects too, because
that was one take. The airplane scene.
Because they only had one plane to blow up.
Yes,
they had to do it in one take.
All right, it's got to be perfect. Make sure she sucks your tongue really hard.
Right. And, just lines like, you're not having any fun, are you, Sean? Try terrorism for hire. We'll blow some shit up. It's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Just there's these crazy lines of dialogue.
I could eat a peach for hours.
Yeah. And, it's the whole opening sequence, you're in for a hell of a ride in this film. And it's classic John Woo action, where everything feels almost like a ballet. It all plays out for a reason. It's chaotic, but it's controlled chaos, and which John Woo was always a master of it. And he loves this film as a director because, one, it was the one American film he did with the studio. Didn't fuck with him.
Yes.
He was able to do what he wanted to do.
They only mess with the opening scene. That's the only scene.
The opening scene, and then the scene with the Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Oh, yeah.
They said, you have to give a reason to have this song. It felt too violent. So that's why, let's put headphones on the kid.
It's so fitting that they have Olivia Newton-John singing Over the Rainbow.
And,
Grease reference.
And so you're in for it from the opening of this film.
Yeah.
And then the original script for this was set in the future. But Woo was like, no, let's modernize this, make it a little bit different. And he really, what's funny is he really pushed for Travolta and Cage, and the studio wasn't so sure about that.
Yeah, they wanted Arnold.
They wanted Arnold and Sylvester and then and Michael Douglas and Mel Gibson and all these different actors. Man. And Wu just
even talked about Patrick Swayze at one point, which I think Swayze would have been good. Yeah, I think he would have been a dead ringer to replace Travolta if Travolta hadn't worked out.
But it worked out in the end. John Woo got who he wanted for the film. Actually, the opening where you see him shoot Archer's son, that's a direct tribute to Woo's other film, The Killer, which I can almost guarantee The Killer is going to be done in the show this year. And because he wears the mustache like Chow Yun-Fat did, he wanted... Chow Yun-Fat was supposed to cameo in this film, but they just couldn't work it out in the schedule. Okay. Yeah, he was supposed to have a cameo in the movie.
And didn't they make a Hard-Boiled reference, Over the Rainbows? Isn't that
That is a Hard-Boiled reference too, yeah.
And it's funny because without, obviously I did some research and I got that, but having you push me to watch Woo films, and I see stuff like doves flying, I'm like, that's Woo. I see the trench coat going everywhere, that's Woo. And I'm like, I see things, and I'm like, man, that's such a Woo thing to do. And
one day you're going to see A Better Tomorrow, which you can't really get in America. It's hard to find except on VHS. But Hong Kong Rescues, who I bought my hard-boiled bootleg from, he's doing a remaster of Better Tomorrow. So once I get that, you're going to watch that. And everything you've seen in John Woo films, you're going to be like, wow, it's all here. Because A Better Tomorrow is kind of where it begins.
Yeah.
The trench coats, the slow motion, all that stuff, But yeah, this movie definitely has all this whole ape-shit crazy operation about switching faces.
Yes.
Which absolutely makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
But you go with it. And that's what I always try to explain to Frank. I'm like, you don't think about the science of it.
It's the 90s, man.
Yeah. You don't think about the science of it, that Travolta might be a little bit fatter or Cage might be thinner. You just go with what the movie is because if you're overthinking a movie where people are switching faces, then you might as well overthink every movie you've ever watched in cinema.
Think about Terminator. It's a conundrum, but it's so well made. Who cares?
Right. And that's what I like about this. I think this is an extremely good movie, a really good action movie. Maybe extremely good movies, a bit of an over-exaggeration.
Yeah.
But as far as John Woo films, this is definitely the best thing he ever did in America. It's better than Broken Arrow. It's better than Hard Target. It's better than Wind Talkers. It's his most Hong Kong-like film he did for America.
Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny is Mission Impossible 2 might arguably be his second most Hong Kong-like film.
Yeah.
Because Tom Cruise kind of let him do what he wanted to do with that film. But this is definitely his style.
Yes. Yeah, so, man, and I think this is like a summary of the 90s. Like, everything of the 90s, the plot, the action sequences. This is like 90s East and West, and all in between. Nick
Cassavetes was so into the role and into the film, wanting to work with Woo, that he shaved his head for it, and John Woo was like, what? He's like, well, I thought it looked cool. And Woo was like, yeah, you're right, it looks cool.
Yeah.
He was so into the role. Mm-hmm. Gina Gerstone, she worked out for the role. She wanted it to be as good as the boys were in it.
Oh, yeah.
Woo pushed for Joan Allen to be in the movie because he wrote the part just for her. It worked out their schedule that she could do it,
Yeah.
And so everything kind of came together for this film in a lot of ways. And some of that was thanks to the success of Broken Arrow, which may not be the best Woo film, but it was successful enough to allow John Woo to make this film.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even the first choice for director on this. They actually had a different director attached to this before that director dropped off and Woo came in.
Yeah, I picked someone different director like 2 years prior to this movie's release.
Well, they were trying to make this movie as early as 1990 when it was a sci-fi script, and they could never get it made. And then finally Woo's team came in, and they rewrote the script for modern times and finally got it made.
They still kept the magnetic boots from the Goombas.
Oh yeah, I saw it for the Mario Brothers.
Yeah, Super crazy. Mario's, and that part is kind of like people rip that. What else do they rip? Oh, they're like, how do they get a guy? Oh, this guy paid cash. Pollux Troy paid cash. How do you know he paid cash? He paid cash. You can't trace it. And so, that, like you said, there's a lot of things you can rip about this movie. But I think that's what kind of makes it so superfluous and just awesome in that way. That it's, there's some parts that you're like, that doesn't make any sense. But, you got guys flying through the air. There's a scene where there's so many stuntmen. You don't know who's chasing who and who's firing at who.
Thomas Jane makes an appearance.
Yeah, Thomas Jane's in the movie. He gets spared by Archer as Castor, and that's a part that's kind of hilarious too. You've got John Travolta playing Archer, who's actually Castor but is actually Archer, and then the same for Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage, who's Castor but actually Archer but actually Castor, and trying to be one person playing another, one dude playing another dude being another dude.
And then in the scene where when he's in the prison, and Archer walks in there and he's really Castor as Archer, and that is so dramatic, and the way they play each other, like Cage is like almost crying like Travolta, and Travolta's like, "Ooh wee, you good looking."
Yeah.
And it's so well done. And they only have 4 scenes together in the movie. The beginning, the prison, and then and towards the end of the movie they have a couple in the church scene they have movies together. Or scenes together. But other than that, they're actually not in the movie that much together. Mm-hmm. And of course the church scene at the end, that's a nod to the killer as well. Yeah. Because the end of the killer all takes place in a church. And that's definitely a Woo film where he walks in, holding his hands out, the doves are flying, and and it's all slow motion, extra dramatics. Mm-hmm. And it's funny though, Woo was one of the first directors to ever use slow motion in his films, well, at least in action films, to show the dramaticness of it and to slow things down a little bit to see what was going on. And he uses this movie a lot, but it's the most Woo-like film he ever did for American audiences. Yeah.
I like it. I think this film, obviously, it was a success once it was released. Made a lot of money, and it's still, I think it's regarded as a cult classic. Yeah. It's a cult classic. I think it's got cult classic status.
Well, Travolta had come off Pulp Fiction. Cage was at the top of his game.
Yes, this is top of the line.
He had come off The Rock, Con Air, then Face Off. Cage was a national. Has the first National Treasure movie been out yet?
No, I think that was early 2000s.
But Cage was on top of his game at this point. He was a box office success. Travolta wasn't doing bad either. Mm-hmm. And so it all came together for this film, and this was a tentpole film in the summer of '97. Yeah, highly promoted. It was a big deal, and like you said, it made good box office for a rated R film.
Yeah. So is this a good movie? I think it's a very entertaining movie. Whether you feel it's a good movie, we'll leave that up to you. Because despite the holes, you get everything you need. You get an entertaining story, entertaining dialogue. It feels like the performances are going one up each other like every single time. And
that's the thing. This movie starts off big with the plane scene. Then it kind of slows down a little bit, but then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes on. Yeah, throughout the movie,
And Archer, I mean, whenever he's like, you can tell he's like interested in his own daughter, basically, but you forget it's Castor, and then he hands her the blade, the same blade that Nicolas Cage hands his daughter in Super Bad, Kick-Ass.
Oh yeah,
and some references to that in this film, as just like the other
Kick-Ass films. Came after this, so,
Kick-Ass came after, and man, I just feel like there's a lot of good in this film, a lot of good.
Well, they also had the original script had a slightly different ending, where they gave you an ambiguous ending, where Archer comes home and he sees his child, or not the child, the child they adopt in the film, and everything. And then he goes and looks in the mirror, and the mirror goes and closes, and you see Castor Troy. And that's how the movie ended. But the studio hated that idea. Then John Woo realized, it was probably a bad idea too. That would have been crazy. And it was never shot or filmed or anything, but they realized, that's not really a good idea, so they ended up cutting that. Because, the ambiguous ending started coming around, that's kind of a Christopher Nolan thing with Memento and Inception. Yeah. Mid-90s audiences, you're coming off all these action films. I don't know how that would have been received. They would have been like, no, come on now.
Yeah, because...
movie's already crazy enough. Let's not go that route,
Yeah, that definitely would have been received very differently, for sure.
Yeah, but a great boat sequence at the end, which is super action-packed, know. And then the harpoon flies through the air, and, then I like how his voice has changed at the end, and he's all, talking like him, and the voice box is breaking because they have, a computer chip or something they put on their voice.
Oh, yeah, to change it.
And
then he tries to cut his face up.
Oh, yeah.
Getting all crazy. And that's definitely a Castor Troy thing.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, Castor Troy, I tell you though, he's a good villain. That's one thing that this movie does do right. It gives you a crazy villain that you believe is nuts, but also controlled, chaotic, insane. And but he plays it well. Both of the actors play it well.
What's funny is Cage turned down the role
initially
because he didn't want to be the bad guy, but then they're like, wait, you're actually going to be the good guy.
He didn't want to be the good guy. Yeah, he didn't want to be the bad guy.
Yeah. And whenever they're like, hey, you're only have to be the bad guy for a little bit, you're actually going to play the good guy.
Right. And he also realized that he didn't want to not take the chance to work with John Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he ended up working with Woo again for Wind Talkers. And of course, Travolta had already worked with John Woo on Broken Arrow and worked with him with this too.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but arguably, I don't think it's the best John Woo film. I think those are his Hong Kong films. I think The Killer and Hard Boiled are the best works of his. But this is definitely his best American film.
For sure.
I think. I mean, you go down a list. Hard Target with Van Damme's not bad, but it's a low-budget film. It's probably one of Van Damme's better films.
Yeah.
Broken Arrow's fun. I can imagine us doing that in the show one time. It's a fun movie.
Christian Slater, right?
Yeah, Christian Slater and John Travolta. It's a fun action movie. They had this, which is good, and then Wind Talkers is okay, and then Paycheck is a studio mess. That's the one with Ben Affleck and Aaron Eckhart.
Oh,
not a bad film, but the studio interfered with it. Woo had a completely different cut that was almost 30 minutes longer, was much more violent and action-packed, and the studio came in and was like, Then, of course, Mission Impossible 2 was his other film he did. But I think if I'm ranking the Woo American films, I think probably Face Off, maybe MI2, then Broken Arrow, then Hard Target, then Paycheck. Well, I don't know, Wind Talkers might be above Hard Target. Wind Talkers, the problem with Wind Talkers is it's
more dramatic.
And it's poorly edited.
Yeah.
It's an edited mess. And that's a lot of problems with the film. It's not so much the acting or the story, it's just like you can tell the film felt real rushed. The director's cut of Wind Talkers is a little better. It solved some of those problems. But, it could have been a better film. But arguably Face Off, like you said, you can pick apart this movie, but I give this movie a solid A. I think it's action-packed. I love it. It's fun. It's one of my favorite action films ever made.
Yeah.
And, that's just me. Maybe that's a personal rate. Maybe as a movie assigned an A, but I give it an A.
Yeah. I mean, when you're watching a movie from the 70s. When you're watching a movie from the 80s. This is a 90s movie, and I feel like...
But it may not be as quintessential 90s as next week's movie is, but it's up there.
Yes, it's definitely up there.
Because next week's movie definitely is 90s. Where Face Off you could show in the 70s and even today, and it would fit in. Yeah. Where the movie we're going to do next week, you're going to be like, that's a 90s film.
Oh,
and we'll talk about that more in a little bit.
Heart of the 90s.
Yeah. What do you rank Face Off?
Yeah, I'd give it an A.
Yeah.
Just on the action. Yeah.
Did you see this in theaters, or were you too young?
I was too young.
Yeah, I actually did. I actually saw
I was 11.
There was a period in the mid-90s where I was going to movies a lot. I was in college. I had time. I actually saw this twice.
Wow.
Yeah, in theaters. I remember that. I saw it opening weekend, and I think I went back and saw it again because I really liked it a lot. It's just I had that kind of time back then to do those kind of things. You're not even going to believe how many times I saw next week's movie in theaters. Let's just say it was at least 3.
Wow.
Yeah. I had time back then to do things. Like go to movies a lot. And then not only that, though, there were still dollar theaters around back then. See, I remember. I think I saw some of these in dollar theaters too. So so it's different times. But Face Off, one of my favorite action films of all time. Movie I've been wanting to cover for a long time on the show.
For real.
And, I'm kind of glad you brought up. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do Face Off, man. I love that movie. And
actually, I brought up Lord of War.
Well, yeah.
Remember? And then you're like, if we're doing a Cage movie...
We're doing fucking Face Off.
And I was like, you know what? You're damn right. We are doing Face Off.
We happen to be doing a Cage movie next week, too, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Which is kind of by accident that it worked out that way, but a good accident.
Yes, good accident.
That's okay. Let's get into some news then. If I can read my handwriting. Owen Wilson is coming to the MCU. This is kind of weird. He's going to be in the Loki TV series.
He's going to play Loki's nose. Every time someone says Owen Wilson, I think of his disgusting broken nose. I feel bad for him.
Or the way he drags out words. Like, well, what are we going to do? Are we going to do that? He talks like that.
Slow.
Yeah. Interesting. He's going to be in the Loki TV series. I don't know what he's going to be.
What if he's this annoying human that Loki has to carry around with him everywhere? And he's the comedic.
But would Loki put up with that shit, or he would just be like, turn him into a frog or something?
That'd be funny if he did. Just, turn him into something.
But I read that today, and I was just like, scratch my head on this one.
Mm-hmm.
There was another report today out that Emily Blunt has met with the MCU. I don't read too much. Everyone wants her to play Sue Storm, be Invisible Woman, which is great. That's great, Cassie. But come on, you're telling me there's not almost every actor in Hollywood hasn't met with the MCU?
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Cruise has met with the MCU. We know that. We know he's met with them before. I mean, that's just, at this point,
I wouldn't mind bringing Jessica Alba back.
Yeah.
I didn't mind.
She's not a very good actress, though.
But she's pretty.
Yeah, she's smoking hot.
Yeah.
But, I just assume that every major actor's probably met with the MCU or at least had a phone call with them at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But so that doesn't mean much. But, hey, I'm all for Emily Blunt as Sue Storm if it happens. Mortal Kombat has an animation coming out called Scorpion's Revenge. Did you watch that trailer?
No, I didn't.
It looks super bloody and violent. It's coming out pretty soon.
Nice.
So I guess they're trying to get the ball rolling to get people interested in this new movie. It comes out about a year from now.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool, man, that they're doing something like that. You need to watch the trailer, but it looks pretty cool. So, Mortal Kombat animation. Since you didn't watch it, you can't say fucking shit about it. Universal Blumhouse Pictures wants to remake The Thing. Why? That's my question. John Carpenter's Thing is perfect.
Yeah.
A movie again. We have a lot of movie suggestions come up today's show. During Halloween Horror Month this year, we probably will do The Thing because I really want to do it this past year. We didn't, so we probably will be doing The Thing this October. It's such a great movie. Have you ever seen Carpenter's Thing?
Yeah, I watched it last year.
And there's no reason to remake this film. I just don't see the point. The John Carpenter's Thing was already a remake. And then we had the sort of prequel / remake from a few years ago with Mary Elizabeth Winstead, which was basically the same movie. It was just called The Thing. That came out not that long ago. Universal Blumhouse has their Invisible Man movie coming out here in a couple weeks, and it's kind of a soft reboot for the Universal Pictures franchises. Because obviously Dracula Untold didn't work, and The Mummy didn't work. I like these characters and stuff that Universal owns, and we talked about on the show. The Invisible Man looks interesting, but The Thing just feels like we did The Princess Bride or Saving Private Ryan. There's just some movies you just leave alone. I'm sure John Carpenter probably shit in his pants when he read that. Like, what the fuck y'all doing? We're going to remake my movie.
For real.
Because it's I don't see a point. Do you see a point in remaking The Thing? No. I mean, there's no way, even with today's CGI tech, you just can't make that movie better. And that's the thing about remakes. It's like, if you're going to remake it, a la RoboCop or something, which I didn't hate the RoboCop remake.
No.
But can you make it better? Is there a reason to make it better? And a movie like The Thing, it's like, no, there's no reason to make it better.
I don't think so.
It is what it is.
Trying to sell tickets.
Like, if you're taking a bad movie, like, we've had a couple of Tom Cruise mentions this episode, like Legend, one of his first movies. Not a terrible film, but you could make Legend better today.
Yeah.
But you're not going to make The Thing better today. So, leave it alone. So, Paramount's going to finally announce they hired writers to write 2 Transformers films. And they're also still planning a Bumblebee sequel. And they're going to reboot the Transformers. Of course, Bumblebee was already a soft reboot. But Bumblebee was really fun and enjoyable. So, are we going to finally get a true Generation 1 Transformers movies? And rumor is that the other movie might be Beast Wars.
That's what I've been seeing.
Yeah.
And I think the articles that I've been seeing are not from We Got This Covered, so I believe that.
Dude, that website is terrible.
That's like... I forget what my friend posted, but they're like they posted something from We Got This Covered, and I was like, I'd trust a fart over that website.
Yes, that's like one of the worst websites.
And last time I trusted a fart, it didn't go well.
Yeah,
just say that.
Yeah,
I would trust it again over that guy.
I like the Transformers enough. I'm one of the people that haven't hated on the Bay films that much. I take them for what they are.
Yeah, they gave us Transformers,
but
yeah.
I would love to see a truly Generation 1 style Transformers. Bumblebee teased us with Optimus and Soundwave and all that. And I really want to see that on the big screen. A full, all-out Generation 1 Transformers movie. I mean, it would be so fucking cool. to see Optimus and Megatron and their Generation 1 modes battling, and Soundwave and Shockwave and all those characters.
Soundwave would have to be an MP3 player.
Could you imagine, like, could you imagine Jetfire swooping in and battling, or think about Devastator, all the Constructicons forming on the big screen? How fucking cool would that be? It's like, that's the kind of shit that will make you fucking nut your pants, dude. You know, so like, come on, just do it. Literally, come on.
And then we need to, maybe they'll have Mark Wahlberg's version of the Touch playing.
Oh, Lord. On that note, another 80s property, the Masters of the Universe film has been delayed again.
Wow.
It seems like we've been podcasting almost 6 years now. It seems like we've been talking about this He-Man movie since we started podcasting. It's like, maybe just not do it.
Yeah, I guess
you got 2 He-Man animated films coming out to Netflix or animated series. Maybe just stick to that. As much as I would love to see a big budget Masters of the Universe film with great CGI and characters that look like they do in the comics and everything, it just feels like this film is doomed to never happen. They had an actor attached. I can't think of the kid's name. It had a director attached, but pushed back again. Apparently they're still attached. Their contracts aren't up, so
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to get better than the Dolph Lundgren He-Man.
Probably not.
Talk about a Patreon episode. Masters of the Universe
that
definitely would be
a Patreon
episode.
Let's make He-Man, but not have any of the main supporting characters.
Right,
in there.
and let's not be on Eternia.
Yeah.
Let's go to Earth.
Go to
Courtney
Earth.
Cox. It's so bizarre. But yeah, that's all the news I've got. So,
that's all I got.
Yeah,
too.
it was a good news. It was a decent news week.
Yeah.
The only news in there right now is like, it's not really a franchise we cover, but did you watch that Fast and 9 trailer?
No.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I started watching it, and I watched the teaser, and I was just like,
They spoiled the whole movie in the trailer.
Why?
John Cena is apparently his brother. What?
Yeah.
They don't even look alike. Han comes back. What? He got smashed in a car.
Exactly.
They slingshot a car around the mountain. Like, are they even trying anymore?
They're like, how furious can we make our fan base?
And now they're calling it the Fast Saga. What?
Yeah.
Just let it alone. Not all family is blood. It's a tagline for the movie or whatever.
Wow.
Fucking stupid. The first couple of films were okay, but that movie, that franchise started getting off the rails a while ago.
So. I think they should have ended it whenever Brian died and they split the roadway and went different ways.
Yeah, just leave it at that.
You would have ended at such a high point. But no, we had to get greedy. And they're like, you know what? Women like Vin Diesel behind the wheel of a Charger. Let's just have him race the Charger everywhere.
As an actor, man, Vin Diesel, that's his only thing. He's the voice of Groot, whoop-de fucking do.
Yeah.
He's got this Bloodshot movie coming out that it got delayed. Then he tried to do Ironiq films. Apparently he's going to try to make one more Ironiq film. But it's just 4. He's a one-shot pony when it comes down to it. It's the Fast and Furious movies. And he's made a career off of them. But he's never really done anything else. Because, hey, he's making bank. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's making money.
So. All right, well, next week's show. This is going to be... I'm going to oversell it, but it's going to be epic.
Heck yeah, it's going to be epic.
It's been something we've been trying to do for quite a while, and that is to get the guys, at least Brandon, maybe Randy too, from the Cult 45 podcast, to come on the show with us and talk an absolute 90s classic of epic proportions, just like this film was today.
Yes.
And that is another Nicolas Cage film, the great, if you ever remake it Hollywood, I'm going to fucking riot, Con Air.
He's a U.S. Ranger. Highly decorated. Did a little hell raising when he was a kid, but nothing serious. He's defending his wife. Got in a drunken brawl. And he killed the guy. Could have happened to you or me.
After serving the last of his sentence, Cameron Poe is taking the first plane home to his wife and daughter.
Today's flight is a special one. We're populating Louisiana's Felton Penitentiary. These guys are the worst of the worst.
See a lot of celebrities among us. I see 11 primetime lives, 3 Regis and Kathy Lees, and a genuine 2020 interviewee.
What you looking at, punk?
Nothing, I was just admiring your cage.
But one wrong flight
Stewardess, what's the in-flight movie today?
can ruin your whole day.
What happened? We caught the plane, man!
Welcome to Con Air.
Jailbird 1, you are not cleared for takeoff.
Ain't nobody on this aircraft gives a flying.
The issue here is how the plane is brought down.
Shoot it down.
There are innocent people up there.
He's got a little girl to come home to. He's been waiting for this day for 8 years.
What are you gonna do? What do you think I'm going to do? I'm gonna save the day.
Check your weapons. Take your seat
Isn't that your car?
and say your prayers.
He's got the whole world in his hand.
From Jerry Bruckheimer, Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, John Malkovich.
Where are they gonna land this thing? How do you feel about the blackjack tables?
Buckle up. Con Air. Directed by Simon West.
Thank you, and have a pleasant flight.
Hell yeah.
So we are finally getting Brandon from Cult 45 and maybe Randy too to come on the show and talk Con Air with us next week. This has been, like I said, in the works for a while. We were trying to do it back last summer, do Con Air. We just couldn't get it to work out in the schedules. It's finally fucking happening. It's going to be awesome. I love Con Air.
Yes.
I'm not kidding you. I saw it 3 times in theaters. I don't know how. I just did. I really like this film. I was doing some research today for it and remember just all the talk about it. Why is this film not quoted more? There's so many fucking quotable lines in this, you know. And not just put the bunny back in the box. There's so many other lines in this movie like are just like, you think Face Off is apeshit crazy. Con Air is fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no other way to describe it. It's fucked up. It makes no sense at all. It's ridiculous. Talk about a plot line where the plane should have been blown apart in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, but
basically.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, a bunch of prisoners in the plane, let's shoot it down if they stole it. But no, you know, it's insane. And they base it all because there's a cop on board, you know, they can't shoot the plane. Anyway, we'll talk more about that next week. We don't want to ruin our whole Con Air episode.
No.
I talk about it in the preview, but it's going to be fun. May not be your typical episode of Rebel Radio. Things are likely to get off the rails with the Colt 45 guys coming on. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to that. And sorry for my little bit nasally voice, but hopefully by next week I'll be much better. And until next time, though, go to the rebelradiopodcast.com, hit our Patreon button, join our Patreon. You know, as little as a couple dollars a month for the whole first year. If you do the $2 tier, you're going to get the exclusive episodes. I've decided, and I need to go there and change it because I want people to hear the episodes we do. So as little as $2 a month, you can get exclusive episode every month. And if you pay a little bit more than $5 and stuff, you get a sticker and a button and other things. So join our Patreon at the rebelradiopodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. And thank you, as always, for your support of the show. And we appreciate you listening.
Yes.
And we got a lot of good things coming up as we count down to our 200th episode this summer. And Compalooza 2020, we will be there recording live from the show floor once again. That's all I got. Until next time, this has been Mark.
This has been Matt.
Thanks as always for listening to the Rebel Radio Podcast. And remember, just go there and do it.
Sam Jones, Flash Gordon, and this is Rebel Radio Podcast.
This is Walter Simonson. You're listening to the Rebel Radio Podcast.